Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Hacking Gourmet. I am Fred Rui, your moderator for the event, and I'm excited to be here. This is the special national tailgate episode, which the first thing you're going to catch right out of the gate is not one of the three of us are actually outside. So I'm gonna make everybody explain that individually. For me, I had absolutely zero plans of cooking today. I was actually going to sit back, I was going to relax, smoke a cigar, watch these guys cook. And Tracy, my wife, came to me and said, "What are you cooking tonight?" And it became very apparent that I better cook something for tonight. So whipped up something, started a little while ago, and I'll go into that a little bit later. But we're excited you're here. If you're watching on Facebook, hit that share button. Follow us on social media at Hacking Gourmet, which is pretty much on Instagram and Facebook and all the cool things where all the cool kids are right now. So I'm in my kitchen, which I've actually never been in here. I mean, I've been in my kitchen, just not on the show. But everything I did today was going to be something that you can put together and take to a tailgate, or some of the things you can actually do at a tailgate if you actually have a little generator or something like that. But I'm actually going to use a crock pot and I'm going to use a air fryer. I'm going to put the air fryer in the other room just so that I'm not that guy on the show. But let's go ahead and welcome Brian and Carney to the show. Welcome, guys.
Fred, how's it going?
Well,
Good.
it's
Good.
it snowed here yesterday for about an hour, so that's why I'm not
Right.
outside, even though it's sunny and 50 degrees right now. So I have no excuse.
Yeah, it's 73 out here, right where I am, and it's cold. No, I was actually doing everything. Everything was going to be done inside, so it just is. I have no excuse.
Yeah, my excuse is I've been doing the show in questionable locations for the last few weeks, and the Wi-Fi at my house is here in Miami is super fast. And I figured since I'm in the home of the actual national championship game going on this evening, that technically this is tailgating. I'm only a few miles away, so I think this is technically tailgating and as close as can be. But other than that, I have no other excuse. Wi-Fi, and we'll be cooking inside. So, but yeah, I'm doing the same thing too. I got stuff that can be taken to a tailgate, cooked at a tailgate, and there'll be some exciting things. So it's I enjoy watching games at home, and I think this is more of the way this is the 2021 now version of tailgating, is tailgating inside of your house.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Also, if it's not very apparent who I'm rooting for this evening, I will be making my pick later. It may shock some of you, but roll tide.
Are the Oakland A's are red now? I totally didn't get that.
You're colorblind. So we do have something exciting going on. This is a really busy week for us here. I know we just got invited to another show that we're going to be participating in. We were with the McAuliffe Ambassadors last week. That was a really enjoyable time. Hopefully, if there's any new ambassadors watching, we appreciate the time you spent with us last week. It was really special to be off the record with you. Also, on Thursday this week, we do have our Gourmet Smoke Session number 4 coming up with the Cigar Warehouse in Scarsdale, New York. And you can still, at this time, it's still Monday. That's on Thursday. You can still go on meatandbone.com. That's the letter MEAT, the letter N, bone.com. And you can pick the Hacking Gourmet package up. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into the show. But it is a busy week for us here, so it should be exciting. And our friend Kyle is actually going to be with us on Thursday as well. So if Fred's not able to, we actually haven't really talked about that. So we do have Kyle joining us as well from LFD Cigars. So he'll be with us on Thursday too. And if Fred's able to join us, obviously I will have that too. So it'll be fun to have Kyle back, and we'll be celebrating the new year in style this week with a busy week.
All right. Well, I guess we can kind of launch right into it. I should look at the show notes. See, Carney sends over show notes all the time, and I should really read those. But I suspect this is the part where we're going to actually talk about what everybody's cooking.
Well,
I think.
No, it's actually, this is the part of the time where we talk about where we've been, what we've been doing, how are the new year.
Well, we haven't been anywhere. See, I thought that was just a
banter.
rollover in the minutes. I thought that was just a roll. We haven't actually been anywhere. You're the only one that's gone somewhere. But
Well, maybe this is a self-serving segment then. I actually had a great New Year. I've been all over the place. Fortunately, stayed COVID-free, which has been great. Sorry for the glare on the camera. It's driving me up a wall. Maybe we shut that off. Here we go. I had a great time. I had a really busy 2 weeks. I was up home in Maine for Christmas from our last episode, so that was excellent. And then I traveled down to Orlando. I was in Orlando for New Year's Eve. I went to this really nice spot called Mathers. It's a speakeasy. Essentially, you enter through a through a bookcase, and they have a little poet out front that writes poems for you. So I had a great time with that with some very close friends, and then we continued on. I was actually in Tampa last week for a board meeting for the Tobacconists Association of America, and I went down to Tampa a little bit early just to kind of experience that, and had a great time. We were actually at the Fuente facility last week, so I'd never been to any other cigar places other than my own, with LFD that I work for. So it was kind of fun to go to a different cigar outlet, and Tampa's truly cigar city, so the cigar smokers that watch the show, which I think is most of them, what a cool place. It was kind of like a little cigar vacation. So we were down there for 7 days for work, and then came back to Orlando real quick for the weekend, and went back to Miami this morning. So it was, I've been all over the place, but I'm down in Miami. Going to be a great time. New Year's was great. I don't know if you guys did anything special, but I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, that was definitely,
stayed home.
Yeah, pretty much same here, Fred.
All right, so moving along, this is this part where we get into what we're cooking.
All right,
So,
well,
Brian, go ahead.
I don't know if you can see this, but I've got a tri-tip that I've smoked, and I'm actually going to sear it a different way. I'm going to deep fry it for about 30 seconds to get a sear on it. And then as a bonus, I've got the smoked garlic Parmesan chicken wings I'm going to do as well. I'm currently roasting some fingerling potatoes, and I'm going to create a kind of like a chimichurri roasted garlic butter drizzle, and do some steak frites with that beautiful piece of tri-tip right there.
Nice.
That sounds awesome, Brian. Fred, what do you got going on?
Well, I've had enough of watching episodes where I don't get to eat, so I actually fired up two things tailgate oriented. One is a crock pot, and what I did earlier today is I made some meatballs that are stuffed with mozzarella. So nothing fancy as far as whatever you want to do for meatballs. When I'm doing this one, I typically do both ground beef, equal parts ground beef and equal parts ground sausage. This is not the time to jump into the lean ground beef. This is when you want a little bit more fat in those meatballs. Mix it up with some breadcrumbs, some eggs, milk, onion, Parmesan, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, onion powder, garlic powder, some oregano, salt, pepper. Put them all together to kind of make your meatballs. And so you kind of make the meatball about the size of a golf ball, maybe a little bit bigger, and you can see the photo right there. And then you just push a cube of mozzarella into it, and then you kind of ball it back up and you throw it into the crock pot like that on high. That photo was taken right before I actually finished to put sauce over the top of it. So you do want sauce to cover all of it. That will make about, I'm going to guess close to 20 meatballs, maybe a few more or less. And then what I'm going to do is I've actually got some soft water rolls, and we were debating about this before the show, but I've inside out, so I take them out because I don't want too much bread on there. So I've got inside out on that. I'll top it with a little provolone. And then we got into a little bit of debate earlier today whether I thought caramelized onions would work or not on this. So I'm going to do one with caramelized onions, one without, and see if I like one over the other. I really like caramelized onions. So these onions, by the way, have been cooking. When this pan started, it was completely full of onions. And then I tend to add a little bit of olive oil, some salt, butter, and then I do put a little bit of brown sugar in there. But you can see that this is reduced all the way down to this. This is all that's left of an entire pan of onions. But you can see the nice golden brown out of them. If anybody tells you caramelized onions take less than an hour, then they're lying or they're doing it wrong. And I will tell you, for me, it's been almost exactly an hour and 30 minutes. And it is really that last 15 minutes when the magic happens, when it's on low and you just kind of let it sit there and caramelize more and more and more. And then what I'm going to do also is on the air fryer, I've got some red potatoes that I've wedged up. And what I'm going to do with these is that I soaked them in water for about 2 hours maybe. Now I've let them out to let them dry. I soak them in the water to remove the starch. And then I'm going to mix them up with some olive oil, some Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, and I'm going to put them in the air fryer. And they should take about 12 minutes in the air fryer. I'll do it for about 6 minutes. I'll put the air fryer in the other room so I don't actually annoy everybody. It sounds like a blow dryer. But I've been really happy with the way these things kind of toast up in an air fryer. So we're going to do that. It may not take quite as long because I actually went with reds. Skin on, I really like skin on, and I made them a little bit smaller, so it may actually be closer to about 10 minutes. So I'll go ahead and put these into a bowl right now with some olive oil, Italian seasonings, salt, pepper, and get those ready to put into the air fryer. Right now I have the air fryer in the other room preheating, so it's just good to run the air fryer for about 10-15 minutes before you go to use it, and then we'll start assembling. So I'll be eating faster than anybody on the show.
Fantastic. Now, I've got,
That sounds like a
I
good
literally just put everything together on my end. I'm going to be doing two kinds of different buffalo wings. I'm going to be doing a cauliflower buffalo wing for our vegan friends. We do have vegans and vegetarians that watch this show, strangely. So I'm going to be doing that tonight with cauliflower. So I'll be switching over to the grill cam in a little bit so we can see that. I'm also going to be doing buffalo chicken wings. And Uncle Steve, don't worry, we did not forget you. I will be using Uncle Steve's shake. I'll be using his sweet and the spicy R. And then I'm going to be putting a little bit of cayenne pepper in there as well to make that hot. And I'm going to be putting this in with light mayonnaise, a little bit of vinegar, to make a buffalo wing sauce, a kind of more healthy version. But we're doing cauliflower buffalo wings, and we're going to do buffalo chicken wings with a homemade sauce using Uncle Steve's shake. So check Uncle Steve's shake out. Good stuff. Thank you, Uncle Steve. Much appreciated. And then one last thing. I was going to cheat today. But Instacart screwed me over. I had ordered a avocado spread because I'm going to be making a avocado blue cheese dip to dip these two things in. And they didn't bring me the avocado spread, so I've got avocados, I've got blue cheese, and I've got some creme fraiche. And I'm going to make my own avocado spread when I was going to just put blue cheese inside of an already pre-made avocado spread and cheat. But today I'm up, so they called me out. And then we'll be putting on the side of these two dishes some celery and some carrots, which I think are the two best things to go with any type of wing. So that'd be cool. So we're going to bake the cauliflower. I'm going to cut that up into about eighths, so they'll look like little wings essentially. And we don't want to just roast the whole sprout essentially itself here, because that's going to take a while to get to the center. So we're going to cut it up into about 8 big pieces, put it on a pan, which I already got hot in the stove there. I have it about 450 degrees. We're going to hit that real quick. Put some olive oil and seasoning and stuff on top of that, and set that up. I have some honey here too, so we'll probably be putting some honey in this to kind of cut some of the heat. When you're out in the tailgate, the last thing you want is to have your face burned off with something really hot. So we'll throw a little honey in both of those as well for the sauce, and then we'll top that about halfway. And then we're going to do the chicken wings on a cast iron skillet that we've got here. So it should be some simple dishes, going to be real delicious. And I'm actually lighting up a cigar today too. The cigar I've got, we'll go back to the main screen real quick, is from our gourmet smoke session coming up this Thursday. It's called the El Salud. It's our Airbender Maduro chisel with champagne flukes on that. And that will be featured with our friends at... A lot going on here today, guys. A lot going on today.
Yeah.
That'll be featured with our friends in... I don't even know where the screen went for this. I had graphics, I had everything. But that'll be going with our friends over at... Cigar Warehouse in Scarsdale, New York, and we'll have some more information on that, as I said, later on. But that's what I'm smoking today. It looks like Brian's light up a cigar too.
Yeah, today's Mil Diaz Monday, so I am smoking a Crown Heads Mil Diaz for the show. And I would like to also say that, and thanks for bringing it up, Carney. I'm using 3 different Steve shakes. I'm using the shake on everything on the potatoes. I use the competition bird powder on the wings, and I use the competition cow powder on the tri-tip. So I got all 3 in use today for the cook.
Fantastic. And by the way, if anybody was listening at the beginning of the show, we did have a new version of our theme song. I won't give out who the artist is because that was just a test run. He was working on that, and this was his test run, but I decided to pull up, and we are working on a new electric guitar version, so hopefully you all enjoyed that. But I did find the smoke session information here. So we've got the gourmet smoke session, I said, coming up this Thursday. This is the kit. We're going to be preparing New York strip steak, that's USDA prime, Argentinian red shrimp. We're going to do wild-caught Argentinian red shrimp. We have a garlicky smoked Mediterranean sea salt. And then we also have the Grill Masters aioli sauce, which is made by the chefs at Meat and Bone in the Wagyu bar here in Miami. And then we also have jamon serrano. So we're doing a really nice session. It's all for $91.99. The virtual session and broadcast will start at 6 p.m. on Thursday. And that'll be live on La Flor Dominicana's Facebook and Hacking Gourmet Facebook, as well as YouTube. And the cigar that will be featured that night will be the El Salud, which I'm smoking here. That will be available for sale. And also that night we'll be announcing our February session, which is going to be augmented a little bit because of the ongoing COVID. That was going to be a date night thing. but we do have something planned for you cigar lovers out there, something special that we'll announce that evening. So catch us live on all of our channels, and we're looking forward to that. So, guys, I'm going to put a little bit of music on in the background, just something to keep it going. We're all cooking and working today, so want to keep some excitement. So we're going to do a little smooth jazz here. And hey, you know what? It's a party. It's a party. Maybe we should.
It's a party.
Do
it's a party.
music. Yeah, let's do some of this.
I just put in some. I just threw the potatoes into the air fryer. So the air fryer set at 400 is actually up and running. Has been for about 10 minutes. So I just put them in there on my little Apple Watch here. I set my timer for 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, I'm going to stir them up. One of the things about crisping things up in an air fryer that I found helpful is pretty much stick to single layer. The one thing the air fryer has probably helped me with a little bit is portion control, because I have a tendency to eat like, an entire vat full of fries or what fits on a cookie sheet, and the air fryer kind of forces me to have a little bit less. So I've got that going for me. The meatballs are done. They're actually just sitting in the crock pot. I'm going to show you a picture here of them. I'm just going to tilt this down for a second, and you can see, if I get this right, how do I do this? Turn. I think you can see the meatballs right there. And they're going to be ready to serve up whenever I get done with the potatoes. Okay, caramelized onions are done. I'm going to sneak a bite of these caramelized onions because I love caramelized onions. Oh, those are good. I think they're going to work. Like I said earlier, the caramelized onion thing is something new that I've never thrown in here. And I'm curious to see if it's going to work. I think it will. The rest of the house the jury may be out, but we will see.
So I'm going to throw the grill cam up here. This is the mobile grill cam today. Some interesting angles. We're just going to take this here. You can see it taking off the back. And the one thing we're going to cut here is we're going to cut right off the bottom. So we'll cut this off. Then I'm going to cut it in half, in fours, and then I'm going to piece those out into individual pieces. Honestly, kind of make them look like little chicken wings.
So for the vegans watching, I made onions and bread. I think is bread's vegan, right? I mean, I guess depending on how they made it.
I mean, until you put butter on it.
Yeah. All right, what do we got here? We got 2 more minutes. We're going to check the potatoes. I'm going to be eating here in minutes. Do we want to do our top 5?
Yeah, just 1 second. Let me get this cauliflower in the oven.
All right, caramelized onions are almost done.
All right, I don't know. Can you see that?
Is that the chimichurri?
That's the chimichurri butter drizzle. Imagine just putting a stick of butter and melting it with chimichurri and some milk and water. And that's going to go over the steak and the foods.
I just need that in a straw. I think I'm happy. Anything else is bonus.
And I just seared this tri-tip in the deep fryer after smoking it. And I don't know if you can hear it, but
oh yeah,
it's perfect. Well, it needs to rest a little
So you
bit.
deep fried that, Brian?
What's that?
You deep fried that?
just for the
I
sear.
smoked the pork and then seared it with the deep fryer.
That's awesome. Can you show me that again?
What's that?
Can you show me that, the deep fried again? I'm going to bring that to the full screen there.
Oh, here.
Check out my potatoes.
Oh, that looks excellent.
Yeah. Let it rest a little bit, and when the potatoes are ready, we'll start putting that together.
So I'm hitting I'm opening the Uncle Steve's here. I'm going to hit the cauliflower with this. I'm going to just hit it with the spice here. I'm not going to put the cayenne pepper directly on these. I'm just going to use this pretty liberally here. And then what I'll do is the cayenne pepper is going to go into the actual sauce that I'm going to make with the light mayo and creme fraiche and all that stuff. So we'll put that in there. So that's olive oil and honestly just olive oil and some of the Uncle Steve shakes. And then I'm going to hit it with a little lemon juice. and then we'll go on to the top 5 as soon as it goes in there. I'm also going to put my wings in at the same time. Those are going to go in for about 20 minutes on their own. Get them heated up a little bit, and then we'll sear them right at the end. And I'll season those wings exactly the same way that I seasoned this cauliflower. So this is going to go in, this is at 450 degrees, 15-20 minutes is going to be just enough on those. I'm going to put the wings in the cast iron. And I'm using double jointed wings. Oh, there we go, all over the place. So we got the whole wing here, not the drumettes or the wingettes. So we throw those in there. Get them up to the same setup. I want to make sure that I get both sides down to the shape. Both sides covered here. I'm looking forward to this one. Put a little bit of olive oil. So at this temperature that we've got the oven at, it's going to kind of be like a fry because it's going to get the oil real hot. So it's going to really treat these wings nice. So we'll get those in there. And then let's go on to the top 5.
Real quick, the caramelized onions are done, so we are an hour and almost 45 minutes, or an hour and 30 minutes, but you can see them right there. That's what you want them to look like, right there.
Beautiful.
Just that nice color. They're going to be a little bit sweet. Like I said, I cheat a little bit because I put the brown sugar in there, which I like. I've done it with and without, and I just like a little bit of brown sugar in there about when they're about halfway done. Probably at about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, I tend to put a little brown sugar in there. I've got about another 3 minutes on the potatoes, and I'll check them, and I should be eating in like 10 minutes.
Well, the theme for the top 5 this week is obviously Coliseum. This is the national championship game tonight. This is the tailgating national championship. So our top 5 sticks with that as well. So here we go, top 5. This is your top 5 college teams. So Fred, you want to run through those real quick?
Yeah, so I went with Wisconsin because I'm obviously from Wisconsin, and then I also have Cal Poly, which I lived out there, well, California anyway. San Jose State, which my nephew was a kicker for and tied the NCAA record for field goals. Notre Dame, because you know what? I mean, if you watched Rudy, how can you not like Notre Dame? And then Cal Berkeley, because I lived in Berkeley for a while. Brian went with Notre Dame, Alabama, Texas, OU, and Ohio State. And Carney went with Alabama. Both of you guys have Alabama. UCF, Notre Dame, Iowa, and USC. And all 3 of us picked Notre Dame. All 3 of us had Notre Dame on the list. Sponsored by Wood Butcher. Thanks to Wood Butcher. I don't know if you can see this. This is what I'll be serving on my thing. I got the little Wood Butcher block here, the live edge cutting board, which I love. So definitely check them out.
So I'm using a little food processor over here. You can see I've got off the side my little food processor. This is what I'll be putting the blue cheese in, the avocados, a little bit of olive oil as well, and then that one's actually just going to be avocados, the blue cheese, and some olive oil. So I'll make my little dip. So I'm going to have like a little thick blue cheese. And you know what? I would probably put a little creme fraiche in there, just to kind of make it a little bit. Let's check this out. Yeah, it's going to get a little creme fraiche as well. The creme fraiche is fresh, so go in. Whenever you go into a food processor, I don't just throw chunks in there, especially with this little one. This is a smaller individual size food processor essentially. I cut it up a little bit. You want to make sure it's easy on it. Make your job a little easier. You'll have better results. So I'll put blue cheese in first.
Alright, so I did the top 5 wrong. I put what I thought was going to be, what I thought was the top 5 college teams of all time. If it was like top 5 favorite, I would put Texas Tech in.
Oh.
Brian still hasn't really figured out how this top 5 thing works.
I don't. I misinterpret it every week.
So, write this avocado
All right.
here.
I'm going to eat it.
So I'm just making sure I got all the bread out of these rolls. Like I said before, we're taking them out. We call them inside out, where you're taking the insides out of them. Sometimes there's rolls that I like, but there's just too much bread for what you're trying to pull off here. So this is one of those cases. Plus, it makes a nice little pocket for the meatball to fit in.
All right, let's check some comments here, see if we got anybody commenting on anything. Oh, we got all sorts of people commenting here. We've got our friend Orlando Perez is here. We've got Renee Yaffe, one of our resident vegetarians. Chris Rosenthal just noticed I have a top fan badge, as if he needed validation. Thank you to Matthew Briggs, Roll Tide. William Cooper, our friend watching. That's great. And then he wants to know, I'll put this one up. What is it with nobody reading Carney's show notes? I have no idea, my friend. I put hours and hours into these and nobody reads them. Maybe Cooper will start a show because we're not busy enough.
It just got more embarrassing knowing that you put a lot of time into those.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like your show notes are like, you know how like when you have a kid that shows you a picture and you're not supposed to guess what the picture is, you're supposed to say, tell me about your picture, because you're going to guess wrong. You're going to say, oh, that's a beautiful unicorn, and it turns out it's an eagle. I kind of feel that's the way I'm supposed to be with Carney's show notes. Like, hey, tell me about your show notes, Carney.
Tell me what's going to be on them this week while we're doing the show.
What's going to be what?
Tell me what's going to be on the show notes while we're doing the show.
Yeah, exactly. He does. I do look at them when I remember to look at them.
If the show, by the way, for the record today, I did get them out a little later. But if the show keeps going this smooth, I mean, we might as well just have you cook every week, Fred. I mean, this is one of the smoothest shows we've had.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is to us, but I don't know if anybody watching. Okay, so I'm checking on the potatoes. Oh, they're almost there. About 2 more minutes. Oh. Do either of you guys have an air fryer?
No.
I do not personally have one, but I have a very close lady friend that does have one, and she and I use it quite regularly.
I've been pretty happy with it. I don't do a lot, like, so a couple times I've done like just chicken tenders when you're in a hurry, cut up some chicken tenders and throw them in there, even naked. Throw in some olive oil, kind of toss them, or even just use like a canola spray and then throw on a little bit of seasoning on there. Pretty tasty. These wedges come out really, really good for something that's easy cleanup and easy to cook. I got about 1.5 more minutes maybe for them to be ready. But so far I've been pretty happy with the air fryer for things like that.
You know what I've been really impressed with on the air fryer? Brussels sprouts.
I did do Brussels sprouts in there. I wouldn't say it was my preference, but what was nice about them is that they crisp up everything in there. A lot of times when we do Brussels sprouts in a pan, they maintain their consistency and you crispy outside. And I noticed on the air fryer they tend to come apart a little bit more, and then you get this different. It's a different element, and it's been actually pretty happy with them. Not my favorite, but it almost makes them like chips.
Yeah, it does. I think it's a really nice texture. I just prefer fried, but I think it's a really good texture. So this is coming along really nice over here. I've got the avocado, the oil, the blue cheese in there. In the processor, I'm going to put the creme fraiche in. So we've got that, and then we're going to break this down and blend it up, and we'll add some oil for texture. But this little blue cheese avocado sauce is coming along quick, nice.
That hurt. All right, I think my potatoes are done. I'm gonna go pull them out of the air fryer. I'm gonna take a picture that I can post so you can see what they look like in the air fryer. And pull these out of here. The other thing about the air fryer, it is super easy cleanup. probably easiest if I just post a picture on the Hacking Gourmet page to show you what the potatoes look like. And then I'm going to start assembling the sandwiches.
The only thing I'm going to add in here is a little bit of salt. Huh. Renee doesn't like our jazz music. Renee, it's actually not jazz music. I think it's merengue. It's Latin music. You should know that, being a Latin woman. I guess we can
All
take
right,
a poll. Would you rather hear the music or Brian and myself talk?
Do I get the vote?
Yeah.
I'm going music. All right, I am going to put these together, these meatball sandwiches.
All right. About 20 minutes and I'll be wrapped up. Got the fingerlings roasted about another 20 minutes and they'll be done. And they'll be ready to go.
This will drown the music out.
Okay, so far you can see I've got the meatballs in there, and then I'm going to add some provolone on it. But first, in the top part, I'm going to put some of the caramelized onion. And I'm putting the caramelized onion into the hollowed out part of the top bun. So the bottom of the bun went the meatball. The top part of the bun, I'm putting the caramelized onion. And then I'm going to put a provolone cheese wedge right over the onion, which is going to melt it. There we go. All right, I'm going to put it up here for the camera. This is what it looks like all done. So I'm leaving them open face so you can see them. If you peek underneath the apartment, there's where the caramelized onions are hidden under there. So we've got the mozzarella stuffed meatballs with provolone, mozzarella inside, provolone, caramelized onions, and then we've got the potato wedges out of the air fryer.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
And now I'm going to play a Brian move, and I'm just going to eat while you guys sit there and cook.
I tried 2 wings early to make sure they were done. That still count as me eating before everybody else?
Nope, not at all.
Nope, damn.
Right back in a second, guys. I'm muted because I'm blending, and I know how much you hate hearing cooking noises in the kitchen.
All right, I'm going to take a bite of this and try this. That was pretty good.
It looked amazing.
So
right,
meatballs
gentlemen.
take about 2.5 hours, just so you know.
Gentlemen, we got a very pivotal thing going on here. First of all, on the grill cam brought to you by our friends at Meat and Bone. Meatandbone.com. You can see it at the bottom. We do have the finished avocado here. And I'm going to take this out here, and then we're also going to make sauce in here. It's almost pulled the wings out, but I will clean that out. But here's the avocado dip. I think it came out real nice. It's avocado blue cheese, had a nice blue cheese taste to it. Blue cheese is one of my favorite things to dip chicken wings in, so we're going to put it into this bowl here. Pretty good texture. Got my spatula, and then we'll clean that right out. As soon as I wrap that up, gentlemen, we're going to go to the gourmet facts. So when you're ready for gourmet facts, let me know.
There's a would you rather, blue cheese or ranch with onions? For me, it's blue
Ranch.
cheese every time. Oh.
I don't like blue cheese
all day.
at all. At all.
I love blue cheese.
See, I'm not a ranch fan, which is strange because essentially, I mean, blue cheese is ranch dressing really with just blue cheese in it. But I'm not a huge ranch fan. When it comes to wings, I much prefer.
There aren't a lot of foods that I don't like, but blue cheese is definitely a deal killer for me on anything.
Wow. Okay.
So-
Out real quick.
Tracy's not in the room right now. She was the one that said caramelized onions wouldn't add anything to this, and she's not here, so she hasn't tasted yet. I've got one out for her. She's actually right. I don't think the caramelized onions added enough to it that it was worth caramelized onions. But don't tell her that.
Food processor back together. Set them off to the side here. All right, gourmet facts are pretty fun. These are going to be big game related. So our gourmet facts this week. Here we go. Gourmet facts brought to you by Crowned Heads, our friends at Crowned Heads. And McGee Smoked Meats. Thank you for the sponsorship here and for the continued support from the beginning of 2020 to now. Much appreciated. So here we go, gourmet facts. Our first fact. This is a pretty shocking one. I should have known this. Yale leads the NCAA with 18 national championships.
I did not know that.
Is that because they were one of 4 teams to start college football?
Yeah, I think it was because they were around forever, but that was a pretty interesting one. Yale leads the NCAA with 18 national championships. On the next one,
Well,
here we go.
that's like saying Green Bay, Wisconsin has won. Green Bay has won more national championships than anybody, any NFL team.
Our friend Jeff
Very
Griner
nice.
says that, I don't know whose dish he's commenting on, but he says NyQuil would probably taste better.
Caramelized onion or blue cheese.
He doesn't like it.
Now, here we go. Bear Bryant and Nick Saban are both tied with 6 NCAA titles all-time for coaches. So those are both from the same schools there, essentially, for the most part. So Bear Bryant and Nick Saban. Pretty cool stuff. Roll Tide. Ohio State is ranked number 2 in all-time NCAA wins. Alabama is number 3. Who is number 1?
Yale.
Notre Dame.
I have no idea. Notre Dame.
I'm going to wait to see if anybody in the comments section knows this.
Let's see. Ohio State, Alabama. You know, I'm just not a big baseball fan. I don't know.
Well, it's football, it's a sport. But interesting enough, Michigan is number 1. Michigan, the University of Michigan, is the number 1.
Oh,
all time.
okay. All right.
They'll let you know about it too. They haven't won in the last 20 years, but
See, Tom
you know all
Lazuka's
time.
going to be happy about that.
yep. So according to this is an interesting one. According to SpoonUniversity.com, chips and dip is the top-rated tailgate food for college students. Chips
Was beer not a choice?
Apparently not. Chips and dip. I mean, beer's a beverage, right? No?
Well, it's a budget item.
Yeah.
So I've got some lemon juice being added in here. I'm adding the cayenne pepper. We're gonna make this sauce up, but that was our gourmet facts. We appreciate the people at Crown Heads for the support. We appreciate them letting us have Brian, and it's a good time. So there's our gourmet facts.
Nice.
How's your food coming along? All right.
These are good.
blender's about to go on.
I got to eat before Brian.
Well, technically, I ate before you did. If you count my second.
That's true.
With the tri-tip. Not done yet, but getting there.
Oh, that looks so good.
Brian, send that right back again. Show us that again, would you, Brian?
We want full screen.
Yeah, that's where it's at right there.
How long did you smoke that for, Brian?
I think it took about 40 minutes at 225.
Oh, that's not bad at all. I'm getting a signal from the test kitchen over here that they need more wine to go with these meatballs. And then I'm gonna ask you to weigh in on the caramelized onion or not. I made a call while you were out of the room on the show, but we'll see. Tracy's just off camera here.
You can't go wrong with caramelized onions.
She says you can't go wrong with caramelized onions. Did it add to it? She likes it, but she's trying to be safe and not offend me. I had said no. I said it probably didn't add enough, but
I think for the time and energy, caramelized onions with the marinara a little bit.
all right. There you go. Caramelized onions, not necessary in this recipe. It doesn't hurt it, by the way, and it is nice to get a little bit of sweetness every once in a while in a bite, but hit or miss. I don't know if I'd bother. Potatoes are great, though. Want another one? Yes, I do, Fred. Okay.
So, Fred, are you adding these meatballs to anything, or are they just meatballs on their own?
What do you mean adding them?
Is it going on pasta? Is it going on a piece of bread? You've got it on sandwiches, right?
It's on sandwiches. Yeah,
All right.
little sliders, little tailgate sliders. Who's got time to eat pasta at a tailgate? Are you forgetting the theme of our show?
Well, I just watched a video on Barstool Sports a couple days ago, and it was from 2 years ago, and there's a guy that cooks pizzas in a filing cabinet. So I think pasta's probably not that far outside of the realm.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, you can use these meatballs for anything. I'll actually tend to use them to snack on them. Like the next couple days, just heat up a couple. You just got to be careful how you heat them. You heat them slow, otherwise you melt all the cheese out from inside. And by the way, you can. I always have some left over. You can fry them instead of doing them in the crock pot. And I actually think I might prefer that a little bit because I do like the crispy outside to them. I did some when I had them left over this afternoon, and I actually think I like those a little bit better than crock pot. But we're talking about efficiency. We're talking about getting on the, go on the go. You can cook them for 2 hours. You can turn them off. You can take them, and they're ready just to eat out of the crock pot.
Hey, Fred, to defend you here a little bit, but before we started, how many times did you ask about hollowing out bread and what do you call it when you take the insides out of rolls out of bread? And who's not paying attention to the bread?
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little busy here on my own.
Oh, okay.
We're all busy, but I know that you're. We're all busy, but I know you're cooking broccoli for the vegetarians. So I mean, come on.
I'm actually not cooking broccoli, so that's interesting.
Oh, really? No, I'm just kidding. I know you're cooking cauliflower. We were all shocked because it wasn't Brussels sprouts.
Right.
Well, let's go to the grill cam real quick, show you some of the cauliflower here. Here's the wings. You see they're frying up a little bit, they look nice. Cauliflower's got a nice little char on it. We're gonna let that rest here for a bit, and then we're gonna put some of the sauce over the top of it. Garnish it with some parsley, and we'll be all set. These wings here probably got another 5 minutes or so. But you can see, as I said, at that high temperature in the stove, 450 degrees. It's kind of like frying. You can see it's got a nice char on the outside, on the bottoms. I'm just going to flip those over, and these are going to be just about ready to rock and roll themselves. So that's where we're at with the grill cam. Here's my plating. So we'll have that set up on the wood butcher board. We've got the avocado blue cheese dip over there. It's real nice. So I'm looking forward to trying these. This Uncle Steve's, I'm looking really forward to trying the cauliflower. I'm going to take a little bite before I put sauce on, see how that goes. But it should be a really nice dish, and plated up real nice, and a really fun tailgate food.
Have we ever had on our Would You Rather for us to be when you're talking wings, drumettes or flats?
We haven't, but that can easily be done, and that could be done today. So that's a perfect segue into our Would You Rather.
I'm just throwing it out there for the heck of it. It doesn't have to be fancy type. I'm just curious. I think I know how this went down. I think you both picked flats and I took drumettes, but you know.
So here we are. Would you rather? So flats or drumettes? I think we did ask that before. I take drumettes.
Oh really?
But,
I would too.
Yeah, I like drumettes. If I had to pick one or the other, but I actually prefer them all together. They both serve a different purpose, but I think we did that. But kicking it off, this is a three-part Would You Rather. All right. So would you rather coach a college or professional team?
Professional.
Yeah. I'm going to say college because you have more control.
I'm going all in on college. The culture around college football, all the tradition around college football. You get to grow and help young kids grow into young men. I just think it's a more rewarding career. I know that the NFL is the upper echelon, but you watch NFL coaches just rotate, even at great teams like the Green Bay Packers. I mean, how many coaches? It's been an interesting situation there for the last 15 years. Fortunately, they have Aaron Rodgers, but I think college football would probably be one of the best jobs you could have for a professional team. Sorry, in regards to either that or professional team. Our friend Orlando says professional, most likely more money. I don't know. I think Nick Saban gets paid more than most
I don't know.
pro football coaches. I know Kurt Ferentz coaches Iowa, and I'm pretty sure he makes a lot more than most of the high school pro coaches. Our friend Cole Averill says college football. And Orlando also says broccoli is yuck, in his humble opinion. I'm the pickiest eater in the world. I think there's a lot of people that don't like broccoli, but there you go. All right,
There you go.
Our next Would You Rather, and this is brought to you by our friends at the Red Meat Lovers Club. They actually have a boxing event coming up at the end of January, so if you go to the redmeatloversclub.org, they can get you the information on that. That'll be taking place here in South Florida. I'll be there, so we'll be posting some pictures. But the Red Meat Lovers Club, thank you. Would you rather be a star on a poor team or a bench player on an elite team? Now, this is, I guess, let you know, this doesn't guarantee you're getting a championship or anything. They're saying an elite team, so, a star or a bench player.
Star.
Well, I mean, I think I'd rather play, so yeah, I'd rather be a star.
I'm going all in on this one too. I'd rather be the star on a crappy team than a bench player on an elite team. And here we go, the very last Would You Rather. Would you rather have a team championship or be the most valuable player of the league?
Team championship.
Team championship. But what if you get both? Aaron Rodgers. Sorry, what? Was that out loud?
Man, this is a tough one. I think I'd rather take the team championship too. But yeah, if you could have both, obviously I'd prefer to do that. But I'm going to go team championship. So those are our Would You Rather, brought to you by our friends at Red Meat Lovers Club. My chicken wings are wrapping up here. I did just try the cauliflower. It tastes freaking fantastic. So Uncle Steve, you knocked it out of the park with a sweet and a spicy R. Crushed it. Awesome stuff.
I don't know if I mentioned last week, so I used his all-purpose rub the other. Well, I used the all-purpose rub on something, but I used the what's the one? The competition pig powder I used on the ribs last week or the week before, and I don't know if I mentioned before. It was outstanding. I was really impressed by his mixes so far.
Yeah, I'm not just saying it because he sent it to us, to be honest with you. Like, they are actually really good. That competition bird powder, Brian's using it today. Fantastic. I've really enjoyed it. So I've got my wings out. I'm going to pull the wings out. I'm going to put the sauce directly on them, and then I'm going to drizzle the sauce on top of the cauliflower wings. I'm doing this in a separate pan. I would normally use like a popcorn bowl or mixing bowl for this here. I will go to the grill cam real quick again. Usually use instead of a mixing bowl or something. The reason I'm not using that is one, I don't have one readily available. But you want to coat these wings with sauce so they do come out nice. So they got a nice little char on it. I don't like doing it right in the cast iron because you got all that oil in there. And as soon as you throw that sauce in there, it's going to separate in this hot oil. So you want to put them in an isolated situation and toss them in the sauce in a separate container, in a separate environment. So out here.
All right, I'm plated. You ready?
Here we go, Brian. It's on you, baby. Oh, really nice.
All right, so we got the roasted fingerling potatoes with the tri-tip and the chimichurri butter sauce, and then garlic parmesan smoked chicken wings.
Wow, that looks good.
So I'm just tossing these up a little bit here.
Oh, I got a lot of meatballs here.
So we do have a couple things left here. One thing I do want to mention is the Hacking Gourmet store is up and live at hackinggourmet.com. You can jump on our website, hackinggourmet.com, where we have all sorts of different gear on there. We're adding new things. We got shirts, hats, coffee mugs. We're going to be adding chef jackets soon. For Christmas, I did get a Hacking Gourmet chef's jacket for my sister, which was awesome, and she had the logo reworked so we could use that for higher-end embroidery. So it'll be, as soon as the graphic people separate themselves from the logo and give it to me, we'll be adding some more of that up there as well. But there's some nice hats and things. I've picked some up myself. They are really nice items, and I know there's some people that have purchased some, but hackinggourmet.com, just click on Gourmet Swag, or Hacking Gourmet Swag, and it'll pull up all sorts of new items, and it said every couple of weeks we put something new up there, but please jump on that if you want to support us, and we appreciate there are aprons and some grocery bags there, so it's some nice stuff, but hackinggourmet.com, the Gourmet Swag store. So I'm going to do a plating here real quick. I didn't get much of this cigar done because I've been busy, but my wings came out nice. I apologize for my lighting today. My lighting equipment is somewhere else. But one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to plate this stuff side by side, which is probably not the most vegan-friendly thing to do, but it's going to look nice.
I've got leftovers.
So here we go. Let's see if this will work with the grill cam up here. There we are, straight down with the grill cam.
That's a lot of veggies taking up space where there could be more chicken.
Right?
True.
Where are you going to put the cauliflower?
I'm going to move that avocado sauce and put it in the middle. So let's do that.
Yeah, just throw those out for some reindeer or something.
We do want to take the spatula, put a little bit of that sauce right over the top of the chicken wing. And then we're going to add the cauliflower here. You can see this came out fantastic. The texture is really nice. It did have a little bit of give to it, a little bit of meatiness, which is what I was going for. 450 was a perfect temperature. I went in there for about 20-25 minutes the most. You can see it didn't burn it. It took the temperature very well. little spoon here in just a second and drizzle a little bit of the buffalo sauce over the top of that. Get a picture.
That is a well-seasoned cookie sheet there. That is pretty impressive.
Thank you. I don't season my cast iron, nor do I season my cookie sheet, which coincidentally I unfortunately don't ever get to cook cookies on it because of that reason. But it all works out. So we'll drizzle a little bit of the sauce. We'll bring it over here so we can make a mess. So there we go. Just gonna put a little parsley on it for garnish. And this is how you would. This is how you make tailgate buffalo wings. The green stuff, parsley on top, avocado. So this is how you do vegan cauliflower buffalo wings. And then right here is how you do the non-vegan version, the man version. This is what puts the asses in seats. The chicken buffalo wings. So there you go. And the avocado blue cheese came out good. I'm looking forward to trying this all together. I'm going to take a picture of this. But before we end, we do have one more thing we got to do, guys. We do have one more thing we must do, and that is we must make our picks for the big game tonight. We've got Alabama versus Ohio State. Brian, who is your pick?
My heart wants Ohio State, but I think Alabama's going to win, so I'm picking Alabama.
So Brian McGee goes with Alabama. All right. Fred, our resident football expert. Fred,
Ohio wins by 10.
Ohio State by 10. Fred, Ohio State. Well, I called it today in my package room. I'm obviously an Alabama fan, as you can see right here. I think this is probably the best Alabama team in quite some time. Very talented wide receiving core. I have not seen Ohio State play much this year because they didn't play as many games as anybody else did. But I think they're a really good team. They handled a Clemson team who they should have run off the field, and they did. So here we go. I'm going Alabama by 2 scores tonight. Roll Tide.
There we go.
So yeah, that's my finished product. I have it here. It looks awesome. I'm going to take a picture and put it online tonight. I'm really fired up about this. I know someone else that I'm with right now is going to be really fired up about trying the cauliflower here. Renee, I promise I will cook this for you sometime when I come back up to your neck of the woods to visit you and your husband. But that's all we got for tonight. This was the Tailgating National Championship. If anybody's watching and wants to crown a winner, you're more than welcome to comment. There was no victor this evening, even though Brian will probably buy his own championship belt.
Oh, Brian earned his fair and square.
That I did.
So that's all we got. That's Hacking Gourmet. We've got what we got going for. We got the Gourmet Smoke Session this Thursday.
Gourmet Smoke Sessions Thursday. I guess we're doing a guest appearance on Jack Tarano's show on Wednesday. We'll be back in 2 weeks. In the interim, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff at Hacking Gourmet. You can go back and watch the videos. Be sure to check out the store. If you've got any ideas of stuff you want us to cook, go ahead and send us a message via Facebook or something like that, because we're always looking for ideas of what you might want us to cook on the show.
And we do have lined up. We do have lined up. Our next episode will be on January 25th. We'll be on the 2nd and 4th Monday of each month schedule throughout this year. We'll have some specials going on. There's been people reaching out to us to do other cooking things, so you can find us on a lot of different avenues, which would be great. And we actually do have some special guests coming up. We have some guests planned from the premium cigar world. We have a lady cook that would like to join us from the premium cigar world, so we'll be having that soon. We have one of the tallest people in the history of the premium cigar business that will be joining us in the first quarter. I've already confirmed Omar De Frias will be joining us at some point in time in the next few months. He's a really good friend of all of ours, so that'll be great to have him on the show, and he's excited about it. And we also have some chefs coming for the first quarter of the year as well. So we do have some exciting guests coming, and with the new year starting, we're looking forward to a good few months. So thank you for joining us. It was a great time today. I'm looking forward to jumping into this food, and great episode.
Thanks, everybody.
Good time.